Kaylee, and I hope you guys are having a great week, or that you had a great week last week. It's Monday, but right now that I'm on vacation, it doesn't matter, because I'm on vacation. Yay! Yeah. Okay, I'm a bit crazy right now. Which is why I make the video, because when I feel very crazy, I want to make videos. It's actually very nice outside, and I think I'm gonna go outside and party. And I got good news for you guys. Remember how I was telling you that I got this camera that didn't work, and I didn't know how to figure out how to work? Well, I found out it didn't work, so I sent it back, and I got this new one. It's a red Nikon, those little ones. It's not a big one, it's a little one. And I hope the resolution and everything looks better, because it's newer and it has, I think it's like 20 megapixels, I think. I don't know a lot about cameras, but I know it's a lot better than my phone camera that I was using and my computer camera. And I'm gonna use it for the first time in this video, so I'm super excited, yeah. Okay, so today's video is going to be on something serious that I'm gonna try to make as fun and silly as possible, so you guys don't get bored and stuff like that. And what I mean by serious is I'm going to talk about something that I'm sure you guys have wondered when you watch my videos, or if you just joined in or whatever. That I'm in a wheelchair. You may be wondering, oh, why is Kaylee in a wheelchair? I'm curious. I want to know. And so that's what we're gonna talk about today. And I'm gonna have my phone here because one, I'm timing myself, and the other is I have my notes here just to remind myself what I'm gonna speak about to you guys. And alright, let's get this started. Okay, so yeah, well, I'm gonna talk about my disability, which is Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And Duchenne muscular dystrophy, neuromuscular disorders known as muscular dystrophies. And these muscular dystrophies are characterized, or sort of, people know them as, diseases or disorders that weaken your muscles. And these disorders weaken your, over time, progressively, you get, as time progresses, as you progress, your weakness progresses as well. It intensifies. And there are actually 40 different types, and Duchenne muscular dystrophy is actually one of the most common ones. And yeah, they vary on the different parts of the muscles that weaken you. So they may weaken your voluntary muscles like heart, or involuntary or voluntary muscles. Sometimes it's heart, sometimes it's going to be the brain, sometimes it's going to be arm, legs, anything you can think of that has muscles, except for some reason not your sexual organs. Here, as you can see, I'm going to put a picture up. In this picture is a diagram of the proteins in your muscles, and the reason that I'm showing you this because Duchenne muscular dystrophy is missing, so I'm missing a protein known as dystrophin, and dystrophin is a protein that is within a muscle, and when you're missing this, you get Duchenne muscular dystrophy, or you get muscular dystrophy, a type of muscular dystrophy. And if you miss any of these proteins or whatever, you have a different type of muscular disorder. And so here are patterns of weaknesses. There are a bunch of different ones. These are a bunch of different diseases, disorders. The first one that you see, the letter A, I think it is. I don't know if you guys can see the letter A, but that is Duchenne muscular dystrophy. As you can see, the red spots are the stuff that they weaken. It's not that this guy's tan, it's just that's where the muscle weaken. And DMD, Duchenne muscular dystrophy, was discovered in the 1800s by a guy. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but his last name was Duchenne. And no, don't get this confused as douche, it's Duchenne, not Duchenne. And there are many causes of it. Some can be genetic. Well, it's mostly genetic. Which means, you get it from your parents and stuff like that. But I'll get to that a little later. And so, before the 1980s, little was known about the disease. Like, people didn't know, that it was Duchenne muscular dystrophy or what it was. They weren't really sure what it was until 1986, where the Muscular Dystrophy Association supported researchers. So the MDA, Muscular Dystrophy Association, supported these researchers and they discovered that there was a gene that when it was flawed, you would get there was some mutation causes the disorder. In 1987, the protein that was involved with the disorder gene was found, in which was called dystrophin, which what I told you guys about a few minutes ago. And so we all know that that genes play an important role in who we are, and like body and our physical being. So and then men have an X and a Y, and females have an X and an X. And this will play an important role in later in the video that I will tell you guys about. And so this disease happens. It happens when a particular gene on the X chromosome fails to make the protein dystrophin. And a lot of you may be thinking, oh, it's a protein, can't you just eat it? No, this is very different than other types of protein, like the protein you guys are thinking of. Eating or not eating this food with protein will not replace this protein. And I'm actually putting a picture up, you guys will see it. This pink blob thing that has little dots. The little dots are nuclei, and these are your muscle cells. And this is how normal muscle cells look like. They're all stuck together. And here's another picture. This is the dystrophy, muscular dystrophy muscle cells. And the muscular dystrophy muscles here that you're looking at, as you can see, they're not stuck together like the last picture. And this is sort of like the tissue breaking down. And as you can see, it says, dystrophic muscle, it breaks down, it regenerates, and this is the skull fibrosis is scar. And so now we will talk about the impact on how many people it affects. Give me one second. I'm just gonna go back. So it affects one in every 6,500 male births, and females can get the disease. It's very rare. But the reason that I have the disease, as you guys have seen, if you haven't seen my videos and if you just popped up and happen to watch this video, well, if you can watch my other videos. But I'm transgender, so I was born male. So technically, my genes are male genes, but I don't consider myself male. So as I go throughout the video, now, if I say we, I mean we people with muscular dystrophy, not we as in male, because I don't consider myself male. I don't consider myself female, and that's why I have Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And like I said, that affects 1 in every 3,500 male births, and they, we begin showing signs of weakness at age 3. And usually they can tell by the way, when we fall down, we get up by using something known as Graver's maneuver, where you, when you get up and you fall on the ground, you use your thighs and your hands you push your hands against your thighs and you get up. And you also walk on your tiptoes. And how I was diagnosed, because usually at 3 you're diagnosed. When I was diagnosed, my brother had broken his arm, and my mom took him to the hospital, and I was with her. I was 3 years old. So we went to the doctors, and he was checking my brother, my brother's arm. I happened to fall down and trip, and he just looked at me, and when I got up, I used Grauer's maneuver. And he saw me, he was like, "Can I see you for a quick second?" He put me back on the ground, and he got me up, and he took this book out and told my mom, "I think she may have something known as Duchenne muscular dystrophy. I want to see her." And of course, because I was born in Guatemala, the studies and all that stuff aren't really up to date on Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Well, I don't know about today. I haven't been back there. And so, my mom and I kept coming back here to the U.S. back and forth. I didn't move officially until I was here, until I was 10 years old. But when I was 3, in between those years, my mom and I kept on going back and forth. And then until we moved here to the United States, I didn't see I began seeing this professional that focused on Duchenne muscular dystrophy. But anyways, I was diagnosed, and usually people are diagnosed at that time. And we begin to really get affected by between ages 7 and 12. Actually, the age limit of people walking is actually increasing. I would say the average is increasing. I stopped walking when I was 13, and after that I still kept on crawling. And usually we stop walking at this time. And yes, we're all born with regular strength, but as time goes on, we lose muscle strength, and we begin to first lose. We begin to lose the ability to walk, and then eventually we use the ability to use our upper body parts. I mean, like my trunk and all that stuff is weak, and you know, 'cause I used to be able to crawl and bathe myself and stuff like that, and I was getting to that point where I need help. Well, I've been like this since I was 16, and actually, since I was 16, the weakness hasn't been extreme, so I'm actually very glad about that. I mean, I've been getting a bit weaker, but not tremendously. I'm not tremendously weak, and yeah, it was a very devastating time when I stopped walking, and it was, as you guys watch my other videos, you will see that that was when I also was beginning to wear my muscle clothing, and this is as far back as I can go, as talking about or remembering when I, feeling something was different, and when I stopped walking. And my mom usually used to blame that I stopped the ability to walk because of that reason, but I don't believe that. That's just part of the disease, and slowly it also weakens our skeletal or involuntary muscles in the arms, legs, and trunk. And the heart and lung muscles are also weakened. My heart is actually very strong, but my lungs aren't doing that well. They're actually between sort of average, maybe a little bit below average. Yeah, but my heart's above average of an average person with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So, I take this medicine that helps me with it. Helps me keep my heart preserved. And I also take this medicine, prednisone. But then I switched, maybe a year ago, switched to the Deflazacort. But I'm actually just getting rid of those two. Like, I'm gonna stop taking corticosteroids, which these are corticosteroids, and they actually help with muscular dystrophy. And I'm not really sure what it does, but I'm sure I'm sure I know it helps with weakness and all that stuff. But the reason I'm gonna stop taking it is because when I transition and take the hormones to transition to being female completely, I can't take prednisone or corticosteroids. Don't go well with estrogen and the other medicine that goes along with the estrogen. It's not gonna weaken me that much, and the change is gonna barely be any change. But in the next 6 months, I'm going to be leaning off of it. I've actually been started leaning off of it, but it's gonna take 6 months to officially be done with it. And so that's the weakening part. So eventually, when we reach a certain age, I would say mid-teens, begin developing something known as scoliosis. And if some of you know what scoliosis is when the spine curves. And the reason our spine curves is because it means that we've probably been in the wheelchair for a while, so our trunk muscles begin to weaken, so we begin to curve and curve because you can't hold us straight. Eventually, we eventually need surgery, and I had my surgery done when I was 16, and the reason I got it was because if I waited too long, it would have gotten worse. Mine wasn't too bad; it was somewhat bad, so I got it done. I got my spinal fusion, which they put spinal rod in your spine, which is screw on to keep your back straight, which is why I have such a good posture. I'll show you. Here, just let me turn around, and I have such a good posture. But that's what I'm saying about straight. It was a very bad surgery. I didn't like it though, but it was now that I got it, it feels a lot better because I was in pain. I looked like I was pregnant because I couldn't poop because of the medicine. I took oxycodone, and that shit doesn't work well with me. It made me constipated, and I couldn't poop enough. And I was in pain, and I cried. I was being a cranky little girl, and so. But if you're thinking of getting it, you should definitely get it. it's gonna, in the long run, it's gonna be beneficial. In the short run, it's gonna hurt you, but it's something you should get, and so you should get it. And so now we move to the survival. Unfortunately, well, now in modern times, our lifespan is increasing, and that's good news. But the bad news is we don't get to live as long. But I'm making myself a challenge in which I'm gonna live up to 65. Just kidding. I'm gonna live to whenever. No, I'm kidding. Okay, let's move. Okay, so I'm gonna put a graph up here in the video. In this graph, as you can see, shows that you can composite if you want to see it. Pause the video. So this starts from the 1950s. And as you can see, from the 1950s, the survival rate was up to maybe the which we call it the 20s, and this time went up to 20s. Then in the 1970s, about close to like you know 25, 26, and in 1980s maybe close to like maybe the like 30s, and then 1990s, 30s. Now we're living longer, and which is great. And this is all due because of all the treatments that we're all getting, all the medicine, everything is improving. And actually, which that was a great segue to talk about the current treatment that I'm getting. And the current treatment that I'm getting is I have a neurologic team, cardiac team, pulmonary team, orthopedic and physical and occupational therapy. The neurologic team. This is the person that specifically deals with my Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And my doctor she's an expert on it, so she's great. Can't tell you the name because private stuff, but she is amazing. Cardiac, that's also another one that I need. And actually, all of my doctors are great. My cardiologist is also great. My pulmonologist is great. So the cardiac team, of course, they have to keep track of my heart, because that's one of the important things. Pulmonary, of course, keep track of my lungs, because that's also not good, because it'll increase my CO, carbon dioxide levels, which is bad for you. And at night I use this machine called the BiPAP. It's not because I have sleep apnea, it's because my lungs aren't expanding enough, so which caused me to snore, which caused me to not breathe as well. And and actually I like it. If you're worried, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna get used to it, you will. You just gotta sleep with it and force yourself to do it, because it's worth it. And let me see what else I can tell you guys. And you may be asking, can the disorder run in the family? Yes, it can run in the family. It's genetic. And like I said, it comes in an X-linked pattern, so moms or females are usually carriers of it. And girls can get the disease, like I said before. And the reason it's rare to see a girl with it, because you have two X's, an X from mom, X from the dad. And if the mom has a faulty X, the female can replace the faulty X with the other X, and which the two X's are compatible. But males get it more often because if the X is faulty, you can't replace it with another X because we have a Y. And what if there's no family history of the disease? Well, that either means nobody in your family has it, and you sort of developed it spontaneously with some mutation. Like me, mine's a mutation in one of the cells, so I ended up having Duchenne muscular dystrophy because none of my other brothers have Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And another reason could be people in the family in the past may have had it, but they didn't know what it was, so people can't trace it back. And that's mainly the whole video, you guys. I know it was weird. I was trying to hurry up, so I wouldn't make this video all crazy, but because this camera only lets me film 9 minutes and 37 seconds at a time, so I gotta keep track of time so it doesn't turn off on me. But anyways, everything's been going great since I was 16. I've been on the chair since I was 13. Well, I want to say officially when I was 16. And between ages 3 and 10, well, with 3 and 13, everything was fine. It didn't affect me severely. Um, Another thing that I didn't mention is that when you have muscular dystrophy, your bones are also weak, so you can break easily. Um, and you also need an endocrinologist, which is the thing they deal with bones. And I see this bone doctor, and he gave me something known as reclass, which is um, a bone density shot, you could call it, that females, a lot of females get as well, for bone density. And I guess that's been helping sort of, but I don't know. I'm gonna go back to the doctor and see because, as you guys know, I broke my arm, and but my bone density's been increasing. My bones have actually gotten a bit stronger, and but I healed pretty fast. And I didn't tell you guys a little bit more about my spinal fusion, but that all went well. I actually healed pretty fast. I was in the hospital for a month, and I was actually excited about that. It was only a month, and every and they made me think because I felt bad for all the other kids there because they were there for like months and months, even years, and I felt bad, and so if you heal quickly and don't complain about it, and actually that's something I thought about after I was like, oh my goodness, I'm complaining. These kids have been here for a long time, more than I have. And so, if you're getting surgery or whatever, don't complain. Maybe if you say you're in the hospital for like 2 weeks, don't complain about it because there were other kids that have been in longer, even 6 months, and they're trying to get out of there or something. And they're trying to get out of there, and it's difficult. And but they have fun stuff. They have video games, and they have like this schedule where you could go play, and then you get rest time, and you could go back and down and play, and all that stuff. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. I was trying to speed up a little bit because I have some company coming. Well, I'm actually my caregiver, and I don't feel comfortable making videos while they're here because it makes me shy. But anyways, again, I always say anyways. So thank you guys for watching. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. You guys are great. Stay beautiful, handsome, sexy, be pretty. Don't let anybody else tell you what to do. Be yourself, alright? Be yourself. Be yourself. Somebody tells you, ew, why are you doing this? You're like, bitch, this is who I am. What's your problem, girl? But anyways, please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. It will be great and awesome. You guys are beautiful. So thanks for watching. Bye. Mwah.